If you want some, come get some.
This is such good
I am the visionary. I am a revolutionary. I am Seth.
I can't give the stuff to Dusty, but I can give it to my mama. I can give it to my mommy.
Acknowledge me.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.
Welcome, everybody. It is your boys, Rasslin with Ryan. My name is Mike. I got my boy Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
Yes, sir. What's up, Mike? And, this is our first Rasslin Ryan of 2025.
Oh, yeah,
we're
buddy.
excited for that. We're talking about Raw's Netflix debut.
Wow. Yeah, what a night it was last night in Los Angeles at the Intuit Dome. Monday Night Raw made its debut on Netflix. And Ryan, tell me about it. How did it go? How do you think it went?
I thought it was really good. It really did feel like, like a mini WrestleMania. It definitely had a pay-per-view like feel to it. The whole card was stacked from tribal combat, which opened the show. That was the opening match, which I think surprised a lot of people. I know I wasn't really surprised because I had actually predicted that would kick off and that CM Punk and Seth Rollins would be the main event, which is ultimately what happened.
Yeah, it surprised me that it was the first match of the show. What did you think of The Rock coming out?
Rock, yeah. So I know a lot of people have kind of been criticizing him because it's like, oh, he wasn't, in his heel persona. It's like, yeah, because he didn't come out as The Rock. He didn't come out as the final boss. He was coming out as Dwayne Johnson, TKO board of director. That's what he came out as last night. He wasn't playing The Rock. He wasn't playing the final boss. He was being himself.
Right. It's a little bit surprising because every time we've seen him up until now, he's been the final boss. He's been, the guy, a heel that's been healing on the audience, healing on Cody Rhodes. Him and Cody Rhodes seemed like best friends last night. What the hell?
Yeah. But of course, some people say like, oh, maybe it's all a ruse. Like maybe The Rock intentionally did that just to make it, seem like, oh, I guess everything is all good. But and even some of the camera angles after he came out to put the Ula follow on Roman, some of the camera angles, they kind of gave off the vibes of like, teasing The Rock and Roman down the road.
Yeah. What did you think?
I thought The Rock was going to hit a rock bottom on Roman.
I thought
Paul Heyman was going to join forces with The Rock.
That would have been something, or it would have been something to see, the rest of the guys from the bloodline, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, do something after the match, but nothing happened. It was a straight victory for Roman Reigns. What do you think of the match?
I thought it was a really good match. I think it helped that they had the tribal combat stipulation because, like, not to criticize like Romans and Solo, but of course they're not the most like in ring like savvy. So I feel like having that as stipulation definitely helped both men out a lot. Because they were able to like, use like the environment to their advantage. And the crowd was hot for this match too. Like the crowd was really into the match. It was really hot and stuff. So I thought it was a good match. I thought it was one of Solo's best matches of his career thus far.
Definitely. It's a match that, it's been months in the making. It needed to end, but it had a great payoff towards the end. And now we'll see what the next story is going in for the Bloodline. Do we see on SmackDown, this upcoming SmackDown, do we see the Bloodline turn on Solo Sikoa and kind of get their own thing?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, another interesting tidbit was that Kevin Owens actually came out and hit a stunner on Roman and was helping Solo. So that's another interesting tidbit. We're going to see if that has any sort of payoff or anything.
Right, exactly. And I think it might. I think it's all tied together. We'll see. We're probably going to see a heel Kevin Owens versus a babyface Roman Reigns at some point as well.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see because we haven't had that since 2016. I think that's the last time when they were feuding over the Universal Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so that'll be interesting. Even even though like their feud ended, there's definitely teased some other stuff to future potential storylines regarding the whole bloodline saga and where else it could possibly go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know the biggest question mark remains like, what's The Rock going to do? Is The Rock going to get involved in some way?
Yeah. Is he going to be involved in a match at WrestleMania? If he's not involved in a match, what does he do? Because he will be there. The Rock will be there. It's just a matter of, is he wrestling? And that's been the gist of where things have gone the last few
Yeah,
years. Is The Rock wrestling? Is he not wrestling?
yeah. Because what I've heard recently is that he has to do reshoots for the live action Moana movie.
Yeah, the movie that
So,
nobody saw.
huh?
Yeah, I'm joking. Some people watched it. People watched it more than was it Red? What's it called?
Red one,
Yeah.
red one. No,
Yeah.
no. I'm talking about because they're making a live action Moana.
Oh, got you.
So people are saying he has to do reshoots for that one, and some people are saying that's why he's not going to be
Well,
wrestling.
I don't think that's going to interfere. I think The Rock should probably already know his schedule going forward the next few months. If he is wrestling, then it's going to be apparent over the next few weeks. If he's not wrestling, then you know what? It's probably going to be something where people are going to speculate for like a month or two, and then we're going to find out he's not.
Yeah, and if The Rock isn't wrestling, I think we're gonna get Roman Reigns versus CM Punk and Cena versus Cody. I think that's what this is
I,
headed if The Rock is not wrestling.
I think you're spot on with those because I think I could easily see the way they're coming out of this program. Well, they're coming out of the match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and we'll get to that later. But I can easily see a program now between CM Punk and Roman Reigns going forward, at least teasing it somewhat.
Yeah, because remember, Paul Heyman still owes CM Punk a favor. We don't know what that favor is.
Hmm.
And we don't know, maybe that favor involves him getting a main event WrestleMania match for a title, or maybe a future match against Roman. We don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. So there's that to factor in too. Like, what is this big favor that Paul Heyman owes to CM Punk?
Right, exactly. Yeah. All right, switching gears. Then the GOAT came out. How were
Uh
you during this time when the GOAT came out?
yeah, so I was actually out with my family. I was eating out at a restaurant, so I couldn't have. I mean, I still got like giddy, but I couldn't.
You actually didn't watch the whole show, just like because I was at work for a majority of the show, unfortunately. And then you were coming back from where?
Florida.
Florida. You lucky.
Yeah, yeah. No, I actually did watch the whole show. I actually did watch the whole show.
Okay.
Um, but like, yeah, when Cena came out, I was in fuck. But when I tell you, when his music hit, dude, I almost cried. I
Yeah.
almost cried. Just I know we get a whole year of this farewell tour, but the fact that it's already begun, it's hitting hard for me. It's emotional because you know how much John Cena means to me, and
I'll tell you. I'll tell you a story. I think it was November 15th, 2015, the night Kobe Bryant announced his retirement. He had written a story. I don't think the short movie was out yet, but he had written a little letter. He wrote a little letter to the Lakers fans that night in the arena. They were playing the Indiana Pacers, and the letter just simply was good, not Goodbye Kobe, but the short movie that came out afterwards, and it was announcing his retirement from the time he was a little kid, rolling up his father's socks, trying to emulate his father to putting on the VHS tapes, watching Michael Jordan, watching Magic Johnson, from the time he was a little kid to the time he was in the NBA, drafted to the Hornets, and then traded to the Lakers, and then playing his whole career. And then it was a very emotional night. I remember that, and I'll never forget it. And then the press conference after him announcing his retirement, saying that he has nothing left to give to the game. This is where we're at with John Cena now. This is where we're at.
yeah,
How
yeah,
would you
definitely.
rate his promo?
I thought it was a really good promo. A typical like Cena-esque promo, but it definitely had a lot more of like an emotional feel to
Hmm.
it, especially because like, yeah, it was his typical promo, but it was also slightly different because it was also like his way of saying like, I had a lot happen here in Los Angeles. I won my first world title here in Los Angeles. I
Hmm.
got I learned how to wrestle here in Orange County. I used to live in my car like 600 feet away from here. So I like how he pretty much shared like how much LA like means to him, and it's like there's no better place I want to start this farewell tour than here in Los Angeles. And then like yeah, it was just like
Hmm.
I enjoyed the promo. I know the fans were really into it. I was really shocked to that like I know they've been pro Cena for the last few years, but this crowd was like really pro Cena. And it's weird for me because since I've been a fan, he's always been like, he's gotten more boos than he has cheers. So now the fact that it's like a complete like 180 where he's like super like he's loved by like everybody. It's weird for me because like I never really experienced that in all the years I've been a fan, but it also feels good because it's like this is what he deserves. Like this man deserves his flowers. He deserves all the love the fans are giving him. And like I remember when he says like I just don't see a 17th world title happening, and then the fans started chanting you deserve it, and you could even see his face like he was shocked on like how they reacted. So this promo he gave it felt it was personal to me because it's like this is basically like this farewell tour is all about like him thanking the fans. It's basically a love letter to us John Cena fans.
Just like the way Kobe did. Now, John Cena was beloved in Los Angeles last night. There was one man that was not so beloved in Los Angeles that last night,
Hulk
brother.
Hogan. Hulk
Let's talk
Hogan.
about that for a second.
Yeah, you could tell even Hulk Hogan was shocked by the reaction. I think it even threw him off a little bit because I think he it
Yeah.
flushed him a little bit in his promo. But I told you, he was only there to advertise his beer. That's it. Because WWE sponsors his real American beer. That's literally the only reason he was on the show. Just
But
to advertise his
my
beer.
God, did the fans let him hear it? They serenaded him with booze. And you know what? Look, I'm not going to express how I feel about Hulk Hogan on here. I may or may not say that I kind of agree with the fans of Los Angeles. Maybe I do.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I will.
I can't dismiss what he did for for wrestling as a whole. I can't dismiss
Right,
that.
exactly.
I give him props for everything he did for the wrestling business.
Hmm.
But like it's like you said, I'm not going to get into how I feel about Hulk Hogan personally, like outside of wrestling. I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, I agree with the fans that were booing him.
It was just comedy to watch. Just absolutely, it was hilarious just to see the amount of booze being rained upon this guy when he's doing this whole Hulkamania shtick. It was very very funny.
You could tell the fans just did not care. They did not want him there. They did
No,
not
not at
want
all.
him in the slightest.
But going back to Cena, do you think we see Cena wrestle before between now and the Royal Rumble? Because he did declare for the Royal Rumble.
Yes, he did officially declare that, but not only did he declare, he said he's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Who knows?
So we'll see. We'll see. You know how it goes in wrestling. It's really hard to predict and all that. So we will see what happens.
Hmm.
I don't know if we see him wrestle before then because based off what he posted on Twitter, it sounds like we won't see him again until the Rumble. So,
Yeah,
like, I don't know if that's true, but just based off like how he worded it, it sounds like the Royal Rumble is the next time we will like
yeah.
see
I was
him.
gonna see. I was gonna say. Yeah. When do we see John Cena again? Like, do you know his dates?
I don't know his dates, but based off what he said on Twitter, it sounds like the Royal Rumble is his next date.
Hmm. Interesting. I would like to see John Cena probably, in between now and then have a couple
Yeah,
matches,
yeah.
but
We'll
if he
we'll see what
doesn't,
happens. Of course, like I said, that doesn't necessarily confirm that we won't see him again. It just sounds like it's implied that we won't see him again until the Rumble. But again, we
yeah.
don't know. So we'll see what happens between now and the Rumble.
And if there's any house shows, maybe he'll be on there.
Yeah, well, I know Triple H did say he's going to be at like all the house shows. So
Or maybe
so
Saturday's event, maybe he'll be
maybe
there.
we just won't see him on it. Maybe we just won't see him on TV until the Rumble. Maybe that's what this is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, switching gears again. What did you think about Mommy versus Liv?
I thought the match was solid. I definitely thought it was better than their match at Bad Blood.
Mhm.
It's still basic, nothing too major, but I definitely thought the match was probably the best match of their that they've had in their feud, outside of maybe SummerSlam. But yeah, I thought it was good. Not no surprise that Rio won. I think we
Right.
all expected that. I'm just glad they didn't drag this out until WrestleMania. Like this
Exactly.
feud needed to end, and
It needed to end.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that agrees that they didn't drag this out until WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how,
And
what they do with Rhea
and
Ripley until now in
yeah,
WrestleMania.
and it was surprised because I thought we might see a returning star, come out to confront her,
Yeah.
but we didn't. But instead, we saw the American Badass, the Undertaker. I thought
Yeah,
that was a cool moment.
it was.
I know a lot of people will probably be like, no, you should have done more. I loved his appearance. I thought it was a great way to use him. Get him out in the crowd, get the crowd hyped up. And stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was just a great way to use him. And I'm pretty sure the Undertaker himself, he has said in the past, he doesn't want to take away from the current roster. So he's just like, if you want me there, I'll be there. If you want me to pop up and make an appearance, I'll be there. He's like, if you think I'll help in advance the story, I'll be there. But,
Right, exactly.
so I felt like this was a perfect use of having the Undertaker.
And I'm a mark of the American Badass character, so anytime he can come out there on the motorcycle, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like it because he has said in the past that's more of who he is like as a person. And when he says like, no, I retired the dead man character, it's been true because every time we've seen him since, he's always been either Mark Calloway or the American Badass. So
Yeah,
it is true. He did retire the Undertaker, the dead man persona.
exactly. And then the surprising victory for Jay Uso coming out,
Yeet,
coming
yeet,
out with
yeet, yeet, yeet.
coming out with Travis Scott. What did
He
you think of?
smoked a blunt on air.
Yeah, he did.
So
He did.
he might face some criticism from that. But anyways, I thought that match it was okay. I really don't think that match needed a spot on the card. Like I said, I told you I think they probably did it just because of Jay's entrance alone.
Yeah,
Because you can tell the crowd was like super into it too. But like I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why they had this match, and they probably also just wanted him and Drew to have a spot on the card like or on the
exactly.
show. But I really felt like we could have done without this match on the card.
Yeah, and kind of a surprising victory for Jey Uso as well. So I thought they would have given the victory to Drew McIntyre, but
Yeah.
see what
Well,
happens.
we'll see because there's a possibility that because the transfer window is in effect, there's a possibility that Drew McIntyre may be heading to SmackDown.
I
So
think so.
maybe that's why he lost. Maybe it's like, oh well, he's going to be a SmackDown guy now. So we'll see.
We'll see. Exactly. And then the main event, the best in the world, CM Punk versus Seth. No, not fucking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it was the right move to make that the main event. Like you could definitely tell the crowd was into it. This match, oh man, what a match this was! This was a great match, a classic wrestling match. No rules, no stipulations, or normal wrestling match with two guys who completely hate each other, beating the hell out of each other. But it was a great match. I think they delivered it. It was definitely worthy of being the main event.
Yeah, definitely started off a little slow, but then it picked up.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it definitely picked up in it, and CM Punk's still showing like, hey, 46 is just a number. He's showing that he can still go at a main event level. Of course, we know Seth Rollins can go at a main event level because he's one of the most talented guys on the roster today. But I thought it was a really good match and a lot of emotion. I'm kind of shocked at the result. I thought they would have given Seth the win, but
mhm.
I can see why they gave Punk the win because I told you I think this could potentially lead to a Seth heel turn.
I think so too. I think it's right where they're gonna go. Seth Hill turn is much needed in that character because not that he's feeling flat, but you just don't want Seth freaking Rollins that character to get stale.
Yeah,
And
I know
Seth's
it's just
character again.
hard. because I know he's like really over with the crowd, and I feel like that's why he's still a babyface because he is over with the crowd. But I do think a Seth Rollins heel turn is necessary, and just based off the loss and the way he was looking, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Seth Rollins like snap next week on Raw or whenever we see him next.
Exactly.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if we just see him just like lose it and go crazy.
Exactly. Or you could see Becky Lynch come back, try to get herself in it, and then maybe we'll see a match with her and AJ Lee.
Yes.
We'll see.
We'll
But no,
see we'll see what
yeah,
happens at the Rumble because I know Becky originally was supposed to return. She was originally supposed to be in the spot the Undertaker was in, but they scratched it. So they're probably saving it for the Rumble. They
probably
probably want to have some surprises for the Rumble.
exactly. And so, yeah, I could see CM Punk going forward now into a program with Roman Reigns, or actually, during the interview he did with Jackie Redmond outside the ring, he
He's
said
like, I'm going after all
Gunther.
the titles.
He called out Gunther for his world title. So who knows? Who knows where that's gonna go? If he's gonna get a title match, or if he's gonna be entered into the Royal Rumble. Who knows? But
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
we'll we'll see. And then they officially confirmed, sadly, that the Royal Rumble next year will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I do not like that. I hate it.
it is what it is now. I mean, Saudi Arabia's paying them too much money.
Yeah, I get it, and I feel bad for the women, especially if they do have the Rumble. They're going to be hot because they have to cover up. So
Yeah,
it is what it is. I get it, but like I don't agree with it, but I get it.
exactly.
So
Yeah, all throughout though. How do you feel about this show? Give it like maybe a 5-star rating, 4-star rating.
like what like you want me to do like a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10?
You can do whatever you want.
So I give this show like a solid like 8 out of 10. I thought with it being the debut of Netflix, I thought they went all out, they delivered, they did what they said they were gonna do. Like I said, my only issue really was like the Drew and Jay match. That's why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. And then like I know The Rock wasn't being The Rock, but also the fact that they kind of just like forgot that The Rock is the final boss.
Right.
Like I get for a whole like the purposes. Plus his two little girls were there, so like I get it, but also at the same time it's like they kind of just threw out the window that like no, this guy is the final boss. This guy is like a heel character.
Mm-hmm.
But no, overall I thought it was a solid show. I thought all the matches were great outside of Drew and Jay, but I thought all the matches delivered. Um, I thought all the segments were good, especially the Cena segment. Like I loved every second of that, and I loved just the whole look they have going.
Oh
The
yeah,
whole 60 setup and like the
yeah.
even the announce desk got revamped and I
The
like it.
second time, yeah. Everything looks great. Everything's so polished. It looks great. Now we got to build to the next upcoming weeks. What's going to be must-watch TV on these upcoming shows?
Yeah, and you have the Royal Rumble coming up, so now we got to see how the Royal Rumble plans are going to be factored in. Because right now, as all we know, we just know of the two Rumble matches and then Cody and KO. That's all we know so far. So
Yep, exactly.
see what else. And there's still a certain legend killer to
Yeah.
return. So
Randy Orton.
I heard that the plans are he's going to return at or near the Rumble. So we'll see how
Yeah,
that goes.
we'll see. Maybe he interferes
And then,
in the ladder
yeah,
match.
yeah. And then we do have Saturday night. We do have another Saturday night's main event before the Rumble on January 25th in San
Exactly.
Antonio, Texas.
Maybe Cena wrestles
So,
there.
yeah. We'll see what happens. With Saturday night's main event. To see because I'm sure after Saturday night's main event, that'll probably also help to build to the Royal Rumble and the final card. So,
Exactly.
and it'll be interesting to see who else declares for the Rumble because right now, as of this moment, John Cena is the only one that has declared for the men's Rumble.
We'll see. People
So,
who either they can declare or they just show up in the Rumble. Who
yeah,
knows how it's done? But
yeah. Oh, and one thing we forgot to mention
uh
is when Chad Gable came out in the backstage segment, he's like, "I'll face any luchador you want, and I'll beat him. And then Adam Pearce is like, I have somebody in mind, and I think we all know who it's going to be. Penta. I think we see the debut of Penta next week against Chad Gable, and I think the fans are going to eat it up. I think they're going to love every second of it.
I think so too. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be great. But yeah, all right, Ryan. Cool. This is a great podcast talking about the Netflix debut of
Yeah,
Monday Night
Netflix
Raw.
debut.
Sorry, I'm having
Your
local issues right now.
your dyslexia is going to play here.
No, I was coughing like crazy. But anyways, the Netflix debut of Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a solid show. But let's see how the upcoming weeks go by. And I'm really excited for this time of year because, baby, we are on the road to WrestleMania.
Yep, and especially with the Royal Rumble, and it's like I've said the last couple times. This is the first time in a while that the Royal Rumble is actually unpredictable in terms of who's going to win it on both
Exactly.
ends.
We know who you want to win.
Yes.
Chad
In case,
Gable.
in case you guys didn't see, I think it was last week. I posted on our Lace 'Em Up Sports Instagram my Royal Rumble picks for the men's and the women's. So I know for the men's, I said my goat John Cena, and then for the women's, I said Becky. So we'll see if my predictions come true
I got to
or
give my thoughts,
whatnot.
my
Yeah,
predictions a little bit more time.
and yeah, and then of course when more matches are confirmed for the Rumble, of course we'll share our predictions for the Rumble.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah,
But
another
yeah,
good podcast, guys.
this is a great episode. Thank you guys
2025.
for tuning in. I know it's
Yeah.
2025.
Can you guys believe it?
Crazy. The year's going by fast.
It's super fast. And just want to thank you guys for continuing to watch the product. All right. We have a couple things up that we just posted within the last couple days. We have the Let's Go Lakers podcast that I did. And then we have our Rams and Chargers reports, wild card NFL playoffs. Brian helped write that. And so, guys, check
Yeah.
them out. They're on YouTube.
Yeah,
They're
be
on.
sure to check that out. And it's interesting because it's not to go too much off a tangent, but for the first time since both teams relocated to Los Angeles, both teams are in the playoffs.
Exactly. So it's on our TikTok, it's on our Instagram. Guys, follow us on all those channels. www.laceemupsports.com. Check it out. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Stay safe, stay well. Everybody's getting sick out there. I'm trying to recover from getting sick last week after Ryan kissed me on the mouth. I'm joking. That didn't happen.
He had Hulk Hogan's Real American beer, and well,
I did.
yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Boo that man.
Boo. It
Brother.
hit like it doesn't hit like the Broken Skull.
Exactly.
The Broken Skull, that's some good quality.
We had
beer
that
right
last
there.
night. Ryan missed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
The audience.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. Until
But,
next week, guys. We'll be back next week. All right. On our usual. I know we're recording on a Tuesday right now. We'll be back next Sunday. Okay. Sunday. Check out the podcast. We're back. Okay.
Sure, we're back and we're ready. We're ready for what 2025 has to bring.
Exactly. Until then. See you.
Yeet.